So, welcome to part two of Who the I Had a Baby by. Um, as you know, met him, was in the house, went to go visit where he lived. He lived at that time, he was living in like this weird kind of apartment. Like Homestead, they have a lot of shotgun houses. So the houses were not big. It was weird. They literally would take like a two-bedroom and split it in half and put a wall in between it and literally give you that part and give you the other part and call it an efficiency or call it an apartment. But it was so funny because his apartment actually had two bedrooms. At that time, he was sharing it with his brother. And, I would go there frequently and stuff like that. And I remember going there and was like, okay, he got his own place. I just turned 20 and I want to live my life. I want to be, I don't want to be in my mom's house. Me and my mom at that time, we weren't really bumping heads because my mom never really kicked me out. She never kicked me out. I can honestly say that. I wasn't the best because it's this right here that used to be driving her crazy. But, she loved me, but she knew how I was. I always wanted to be grown. I always wanted to just, be a grown up. Child, please. Oh, how the tables have turned. But anyways, started sleeping over there and I got this bright idea. And at that time I was working at Checkers, right? On 27th Avenue where Rick Ross currently he owns that Checkers right there on 27th Avenue. And I worked there around 2002. Do y'all know I quit my job so I can go live with this man? He was like, come live with me. We could be together. Just we could be together. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, cool. So, within 2 months, I started living with this guy. Started living with him. Thought I was in love. I know for a fact I wasn't in love with him, but I was just in love with the idea of it. He taught me how to drive, even though I had my driver's license already. But, it's so funny because in our house, my mom had 5 kids and she bought us a car. She did. She's the GOAT for that. She bought us a car. We drove, but we didn't drive like that. So my driving experience wasn't really the best. He taught me how to drive. He put me in a position where he taught me how to cook because at that time I really didn't have to cook because I had my mom. She cooked even though she worked. She cooked. She did everything for us. So it's at that time I had to really become a woman. I really had to become a woman. And this is so weird. It's giving me these weird chills because at 20 years old, I really didn't know what becoming a woman was. You understand what I'm saying? Until I lived with him. I had a lot of bad habits. And I'm going to be honest with you, he was more of like a father figure at the time for me because of the age gap. And he literally taught me how to do everything, taught me how to be more clean, how to put things together, how to cook, how to make sure your man has food when he comes from work, especially if you're not working. Because at that time, I didn't work. He made me feel like a princess, y'all. I'm not even going to lie about this. This man gave me money every time he got paid, got my hair done, made sure that I was good financially, paid all the bills. I didn't work anywhere. Remember, I told you I barely finished school. So I didn't have a career. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I didn't know who I wanted to be. And this is serious. I did not know who the fuck I wanted to be. I was just kind of floating. So he was like my ticket up to being, to be free and to kind of just be this man's woman, even though I was not a woman at the time. So, so let me tell you about this. So I started living there. And at that time we had phones, right? House phones. And he had a house phone. And at that time, his house phone had caller ID on it. It had like a big, weird, bulky black phone. And his kid's mom would call. I can't really remember verbatim because this is like 20 something years ago. she would call, and when she would hear my voice, she would be like, "Hello, may I please speak to, T?" And I'm like, "T's not here right now. May I ask who's calling?" "Oh, this is Sandra. Can you please tell him to call me back? I need him to pick up the kids, blah, blah, blah." It was weird. It was a weird, weird feeling. He was with the baby mama for 11 years before me and him started dating. At that time, he had a 2-year-old who was about to be 3. Um, and he had 2 older sons, which was probably 8 and 9 at that time, or 8 and 7 at that time. I can't remember their ages like that. But yeah, ooh. So it was automatically beef between me and the baby mama. And it was so funny because at that time I didn't understand what the beef was, because sis was in a whole relationship. But she would give me attitude. Sometimes she would hang up the phone in my face. She wasn't really pleasant, but she wasn't mean like that. Like, she wasn't being a bitch, but it was just so weird. It was just weird. Cause remember, now I'm living in an area where it's his territory. It's his family. It's his dad. It's his stepmom. It's it's his brother, it's his sisters, and everybody. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think nobody liked me because I was so young. They were like, "What the fuck? Like, where did you get this bitch from? Like, where did you get this young kid from? Like, she's not grown. She doesn't know anything. She's just like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, where the fuck you got her from? And please return back to sender." That's the vibes that I felt. Um, while living with him, he would bring his kids over. Very awkward with the kids, because at that time, because I was so young, I thought that being their best friend was the best way. Oh my God. These kids didn't respect me, but they didn't disrespect me. And me and him used to get in arguments about that. He was like, "Oh, why you playing with the kids like that? You acting like a kid. You acting like a jit." I'm talking about, like, y'all, I'm running in Walmart with the kids, hiding, playing hide and go seek. Because y'all know I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, okay? I'm not a mom. I don't know anything about kids. This is my first experience with a man with kids. I never dealt with a man with kids before. So it was just very different for me to be with a dude with kids. Because now I'm thinking I'm doing big shit. Like, I'm grown now. Like, I'm a grown up. Y'all can't see me. I'm a whole grown up in these streets. Child, please. So at first, the relationship was going so good. I felt loved. I felt cared about. I felt spoiled. He would do these nice little things for me. We would go on dates. He would show me off. We would go to the little clubs in Homestead, because Homestead is not big. So it was little places he would take me. He would allow me to his family. Like, I met his family and everything. And even his family, I gotta say this, they didn't care for me. Because they kept giving me this weird looks like, mm, uh, hmm, okay, hey. They did not like me, and I felt that with them. I think the only people that really did like me was the kids. I felt like, because I was new, and I was also Haitian, so it was just weird. It was a weird dynamic. It was a weird dynamic. But I was like, you know what? Let me just embrace this. I really love this man. At least that's what I thought. I was telling him I love him like on the second day, because I was so damn thirsty. Where was my parents at? Jesus. So I forgot to also add, before I moved in, I told my mom, I said, "Hey mom, you know what? I met this guy. I want to move in, and don't worry about it. I'm moving in anyways."